Void Boys' last pickup because I don't see how their last pick can actually change things for me. The Puck, I think, the Puck, Sand King, Disruptor, all solid counters to the two important cores of the side of Void Boys. Whether they ran the Earthshaker as an offlane or as a support, I don't think it makes too much of a big difference. The Earthshaker definitely can, if he gets a good start, take over the game and be quite strong versus the Puck and be the lead initiator that wins team fights, but I find that unlikely to happen here. I really think North American Rejects came out on top in the draft.
And with that, I think the players that we're going to need to look at is standouts. 747, I believe he's the newest recruit to Void Boys. He's not the direct replacement to Pat Soul. They kind of shifted around the roles a little bit. Mercy Please, I believe, has been taking over the one position, but they have 747 now. He has been a standout player for them in that mid lane position here. So do you have to work on cropping that photo, though? It's a little too high on the top right there, gentlemen. Ush has got it right. There's no room on top because, he's a big boy. And then Ush, of course, on the other side for NAR. He's been consistently holding like the highest GPM across the American scene. He knows how to farm.
Very low deaths as well. Like he does not die very many times, and that's really where you get your biggest GPM. It's not necessarily by farming rapidly; it's by farming pretty darn fast, but also never dying.
It's very much like his North American counterpart, Fear. Fear across the last year, 2 years has almost always been the person the lowest for average deaths per game. So it's kind of that same style.
Yeah, I just like small little shots here, but the analogy that I usually make is that North American Rejects is the American version of Mount Sports in that they're both very good at being able to switch back and forth in that 1 and 2 position. Right? Both Ush and Korra can take over the carry quite easily, just like Poifa and Black do. So I think they've got the versatility to be able to move around like that. So as we see, we're getting into laning phase here, guys. So we're actually going to leave it over to our casters, Coddle Guy and K-Pop.
K-Pop? We haven't gotten to cast together for quite a while.
It's been a while, man. We had an attic cast for the Summit, too, up in the third floor of the BTS.
I believe it was like I was by myself, and you're like, hey, buddy, I'll cast with you. Why not?
Popped open a beer, sat down beside you.
Yeah, we're professional now.
Yeah.
So professionally, we wear the same shirt. So. Look at that. We're going to get underway. No early sort of aggression here. Just looking to kind of, control each rune a bit. They got a ward apiece. Just making sure they can secure. The last pick, Bane, Capital's very confident that regardless of what the pick was, he felt really strong about the NAR draft. But, Bane's one of those picks that can creep on you. Great zoning in the lane. Could give a lot of trouble to MSS on the clockwork.
Exactly. Fantastic stat gain. He is relatively tanky when dealing with trading last hits, can trade last hits exceptionally well, and he's really good to lock down for the Slark if they can actually find him. That Fiend Script is one of the better single target CCs in the game.
And the Puck Queen of Pain matchup in the mid lane. Can trade CS, could go technically either way. Both of them very slippery. Can't easily gank him.
Puck statistically loses a little more than Quap, but it's really not as bad as you would think. It's probably like 55-45 in favor of Quap.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Both kind of can almost fill that same void, being able to gap close, get in the face, crowd control a bit. Puck more so with the lockdown factor, while Queen of Pain has more of that heavy bursty flavor here. And look at that. It's going to be the Earthshaker in the off lane for Omega Poner here, having to go and tussle against the Gyrocopter and the Disruptor. Disruptor, pretty good at zoning, has the Thunderstrike to keep him back and at bay, can trade blows here and there, but all in all, if it's only going to be just a Disruptor trying to be that bouncer, Omega Poner should have no problem soaking in that XP.
Right. And it's interesting to see the offlane Earthshaker when you have a Quap mid versus having more like a more gank non-resistant type hero mid. Like Quap usually can get away from most ganks. She's very hard to kill in that mid lane. Normally when you see this offlane Earthshaker, it's when he can rotate mid and maybe save. If some of the supports are missing and you're worried about your Shadow Fiend dying, you're there to save your Shadow Fiend, but less so here. He's still going to go and try to get these runes and help out when he can, but I think it's kind of odd to see it with a Quap, I think. Not necessarily meaning it's a bad pick, it's just something I haven't seen as much.
We saw both obs be taken care of from both sides on that bottom lane, and already the tension building up for that 2-minute rune. Earthshaker would love to be a part of that. Looks like he will have first dibs on it. There is nearby Sand King here, just kind of working with those stacks. Sand King, more that Grady support. Loves to have something to fall back on, going right for that Blink Dagger, and then he becomes one of the best initiators you can ask for in the game. That seems to be the name of the game for NAR. Initiation, crucial strikes, and, well, if you're able to follow up with a big successful team fight, everyone benefits, including your Gyrocopter.
Exactly. And it's interesting to see Fogged, normally a very good Sand King player, but probably more comfortable on the Disruptor than Chad. So
and every time they get the Sand King, I always say that seems to be like, this might be the time. We're going to see Fogged back on the Sand King, but no, he always ends up being, delegated to that more 5 position.
But, taking nothing away from his Disruptor because he plays a fantastic Disruptor.
Oh, of course. He's handsome and he plays a great Disruptor. So, with that though, I'm very concerned here. I mean, do you feel like it's more pressure on which team to kind of lead off with a strong start? I feel like the pressure could be more so on NAR, given
Yes.
that they're just kind of putting a lot behind the single gyrocopter, whereas Void Boys seem to be more flexible.
Yeah, these are both very aggressive lineups. Anytime you see Slark, you're going to expect him to be relatively active early. But NAR, when you have a support combo like Disruptor Sand King, you're not very good at reacting to aggression. You really have to be the one forcing fights and forcing your team to retreat from fights. That's where Disruptor really picks up and really shines, is when you force a fight if they're at a tower and you force them to run away, and you can always pick that one guy off with a well-timed glimpse. So both teams are really going to have to be aggressive. So it's going to be about who can be aggressive in the best way possible, the most efficient way, taking objectives without having to lose a fight at the tower, or getting a gank off and getting back away safely, because there's going to be a lot of gank attempts here where we see trades, or we see reactions from supports and picking somebody off in response. So it's about who can get away with the cleanest ganks, I think.
This is, up to this point, looking almost like a mirror match here. Both sides, they're working with a
Very
good
similar.
pull through. The offlaner getting denied a little bit. You have Clockwork who can work with the cogs to block out the wave a bit in his favor. You have Earthshaker who has his own fissure to help in that sense. Both mid laners almost neck and neck with their CS, with now the Queen of Pain maybe etching out with a bit more denies.
Right.
So once we start seeing the level 6s come together, that's when we might see the fireworks really come on, as far as who has the better kill potential at that point.
Yeah, exactly. For this patch, sometimes I felt like we'll sometimes have really big lulls, 6 or 7 minutes in the game without kills, and then there's always an explosion, and there's like 4 or 5 kills coming up relatively quickly afterwards.
Very reserved play here from MSS. You know that the bottom rune was not, the bounty, so it's definitely effective rune, and obviously Fly's going to be off the radar, so he wants to be
Very smart.
very reserved, doesn't want to get caught out yet. You got to remember, this is a very important series right now, though both these teams are not eliminated, and they're guaranteed to move on to the next round. Getting into that top seed, having that extra life is very important. You don't want to, lose that one series and be done. But here we go, the first committed jump coming out with that Invis rune. Fly going to move in, gets the sleep off, but is this going to be enough to stop the puck? We'll see. The silence does come out, but there it is. They're going to get the first blood. It's going to come in the hands of 747 with that scream. Very nicely done. Plus Omega Poner getting on the action.
Indeed.
All hands on deck.
Very smart play across the board. Fly waiting until the phase shift happened to throw out the Nightmare. Omega opponent being right in position. Great play.
Very good. Samuel Starvier. Storm Spirit, want to make sure you can punish the mid laner before they get to that level 6. Things could be too tricky by then. So Void Boys get to edge themselves an inch further ahead, though, with that Omega opponent constantly shifting away from the offlane. Makes things a lot easier for Ush as the gyro. You can already see it's 34 and 13. But here we go. First smoke of the game. It's going to be the trifecta right here. The same trifecta that got the work done in the mid lane. Oh, they anticipate that the Sand King has got to be jungling somewhere. Where, though, is the question. There he is. And we'll take a pause to think about it. But it is NAR who have issued the pause. They do need a moment. But
It's funny because Ush pinged that location and then paused. Not to throw anyone under the bus, it's probably just lag issues, but it looks
we're
like...
just observing here.
No, that's not necessarily the reason for the pause, but Ush has pinged that area out, so he might be saying, hey, Chad.
Lots of people missing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty obvious. Unfortunately now both sides can really dissect what's about to happen in the next 10 seconds.
Exactly.
One team's like, well, Void Boys, their mid's missing, their offlaner's missing, and that Bane has been missing for quite a while, and then you're looking over the side of the Void Boys, it's okay, how can this fight
It
go?
might actually be an Earthshaker ping. I can't really tell the difference between this teal and turquoise. What do you think it is? Was that the...
It kind of
gyro
looked
ping?
teal to me at first. Under the
Can't
pause,
tell.
I think
I can't
the pause has that bit of grayscale. I mean, I'm partially colorblind, Brian. You're asking the wrong person for color.
Blue,
But
blue, right?
yeah, it's all meshed together. Plus, we're watching this television. It's
We're
kind of-
analyzing a very weird thing here, the color of the
Not the
ping.
game. We're analyzing how we can look at color here, apparently. But with that, let's actually look at this, how it's going to work out here. He's already in his Sandstorm. He does have the stun, maybe an up and alley-oop over the cliff as he sees him come in, but I don't think that's going to happen. They can even lead him with the sleep just to guarantee the setup, block
Right,
him out.
I think he's just dead.
Is there anyone nearby to help out? Doesn't look like it, so this is going to be pretty dang tough.
I think the only way he can either maybe stun through the wall to his left maybe really quickly and then have his teammates helping him out. He's got to go, obviously. If he's too far north, I think he's going to have an issue.
Yeah, Fog obviously too far away. Glimpses, only level 1. Help lot, went with that 1-1-1. Gyrocopter, so you got early value point in Rocket. I like it when they do that. I like zoning Rocket. Some people could be a bit hit or miss. They seem to just put more value in going straight flak and the Rocket Barrage. But I think
It's
the
good
one
against a like Slark, right? Because even if you can't really do anything with him, you have positional information.
Here we go. What's going to happen here? Smokes pop, but they still don't see him. Chad, you might be in trouble. Drop the sentry. He tries to head to the north, but that puts him into literally a dead end. As
Yeah,
he's going to
definitely.
get the visual hit the
Had no
screen.
clue that was coming.
Yeah, well, over-analyzing, we're not.
That's just probably saying I told you so. He's like, I feel something. My spider sense is tingling.
I feel the gold loss, though, is unfortunately what it is, and they're going to even take that stack away. That hurts Sand King a lot, and he is going to be nerfed down quite a bit. So going back to the jungle, making more stacks and stuff, now you're kind of second-guessing yourself. We'll still have that stack over here to work with, but now you got to make sure you're really checking out that map, making sure communication is of the utmost importance, that you can tell exactly who's where, when, and why.
Right. So what's going on here? See, please farming it pretty well. He's going after that very fast Shadow Blade, not even upgrading his boots first. Do you think that's the right decision? Is that normally what we see from Slarks? Or do we normally see power treads first? I feel like treads get completed.
Treads are good. If you're having a beautiful time in the lane, they like to even go a bit extra greedy, go for the Midas.
Right.
But, he feels it's necessary to go with the Shadow Blade. It's either that or the Blink Dagger, typically. And as it looks right now, maybe when you're going against the Flat Can, maybe when you're going against the team that could initiate on you, Blink might be rendered useless. And maybe
He's taking a very interesting direction back home.
He is all over the place right now. He's a tourist right now in the land of NAR. But he'll eventually find his way back to the safety of his home. He's got a good amount of levels. He's been participating in each of the kills, so he's almost level 4.
There's another bounty room. Look at that.
Now I'm level 4. Got the extra gold. Still sporting my sweet mango. And he'll head towards the bottom here. We look to MSS. Level 5 at 7 minutes in. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Love to get to that level 6. I mean, you're talking about, potential blink in Burrow Strike at some point, the hook shot, the puck. Lots of potential here for NAR, if they can get to it. But good combo breaking capabilities on the side of Void Boys with your sleep, with your fissure. This is going to be really interesting.
Indeedo. Fly. Okay.
Nah, he doesn't see the opportunity.
MSS is playing very carefully in this lane, as he should. He's realized that these supports are all over the place.
It's good. Slark, obviously, make sure you keep that in your stash. Don't want to be giving away any sort of early information right there.
Because that's one thing. It's kind of like an early blink on Batrider, right? Like not showing that you have that early Shadow Blade on Slark that might be worth a kill, which is worth the early pickup.
Yeah, it would catch NAR off guard if they saw how quick the Shadow Blade could come, and then he ends up bringing a kill, and then it is very, very justified. Oh, looks like MSS trying to go for the rune does succeed in getting it, and he's going to take a nap for it, and he'll end up going up and around. Very close to that level 6 now. Looking over at Schwan, you can see level 4, pushing on in. We'll see if he ends up putting together the funds to get that early Midas. How effective can the Ice Blast be this game? Could obviously be good at being able to render the blinks useless, the good initiation, but it doesn't really directly stop any sort of restoration at all, I guess you could say.
No, not really. I mean, they don't have really a sustained base lineup anyway, so that's good for NAR. Even here, it's like Puck, if the Ice Blast goes past a tower, they can usually time it just right with the phase shift and not get hit by it. So, but it's always good. It's just sometimes not as good as it could be in certain lineups.
And they unfortunately haven't been able to utilize this Chilling Touch too much in the early game. One of the best level 1 aggressive abilities you can ask for in the game. 50 bonus damage for 3 strikes. You put that on 3 people, my goodness, it can get pretty devastating here. And now we see Omega Poner going to be building up some ancient stacks for now. We'll see eventually who's going to be farming up that one. Could be the Slark, could be a team effort. Overall, the economy looking pretty dang swell.
Ush leaving the net worth as usual before 10 minutes. Just being careful, being safe, farming up effectively. He's one of the best. He has amazing farming patterns. He doesn't go on tilt much. Usually if he even dies early, he can usually stay high up in last hits. Ush is just a very consistent farmer, which is usually what you want from your team, right? If there's one quality you really want from your one position, it's consistency.
Well, I would certainly agree with that. And it's their gyrocopter. They need to make sure he has a good, strong start because they're going to be looking to him as the game progresses. Later, jump in. Oh! This is the caster curse, Brian. You have done it. We're praising Ush, and then he just gets...
Well, that was no fault of his own. That was just really good play from Void Boys.
That came in so quick. He got knocked the hell out. That was a cheap shot almost. I mean, they just came in, punched him right in the face, and he was done. That was a wonderful rotation, wonderful game coming out from Void Boys here. Man, oh man. They're looking good. Who expected the Void Boys to be up there in top 3, and then teams like Not Today to be underperforming? Right. It's crazy.
That's what the beautiful thing about these qualifiers, man. It gives everyone the fair shot. Everyone gets a chance, even with the open qualifiers now.
Oh, look at this. MSS. Now, he's not level 6 yet, but he's feeling pretty confident that simply with the battery assault and some right clicks, he'll get the job done. He certainly does. We'll get frozen up, but he's going to be walking away with the kill, and that will get NAR on the board. Meanwhile, top lane glimpse back as they make it go into a Mega Poner with that sweet, delicious rocket barrage. They're going to take down the man, and with that, NAR back in action. Now pushing up to 2 to Void Boys 3.
Indeed. And Slark does have his Shadow Blade now.
Oh, he's going to want to do something with that right away.
It's coming.
The fastest pickup of a Rush Shadow Blade is 743. Oh man, they must have got some first blood and a couple of kills or something like that. That's pretty dang ridiculous.
He's even going to TP, like, he's going to hide this.
Give me my Shadow
This is
Blade.
just like rushing a blink on a Bat Rider. It's exactly how this feels. It's like, let me get this big item that I can take him by surprise and get a quick kill with to make it worth it.
No smoke necessary, and they're like, of all the people on the map, the best person to take out would be
Oh, poor
Ush
Fog.
again, but it might end up being
No,
Fog.
he's going for the Ush kill. He's going for the higher target.
I mean, he's got him. There it is. There's the pounce. Ush can't do anything about it, but he does have level 6. Cooldown's going to be there, but he has nowhere to run. He's going to get dropped. Big damage on the Slark, but he's going to be able to use that ultimate to walk out away. Omega Poner, though, feeling pretty
they're too
confident.
low. They're scared.
I don't know about that. He's got the glimpse. It's got to be at least level 2. It's actually level 3 to bring him all the way back, and Korok is there to clean it up.
This is just what I was talking about before. Where Disruptor really shines is forcing the other team to retreat when there's still heroes around. When Disruptor can pick somebody off retreating, you're always going to trade someone when you retreat from a Disruptor.
And Chad is right back in the farming groove. Even after, getting caught out, picked off, and losing that stack, he's been able to keep the farm up. He's getting pretty dang close to his Blink Dagger. He's already level 6, actually about level 7, and they'll be able to have that. So here we'll see a bit of a replay here. I've actually never seen the replays on this.
Oh, yeah.
This is good.
Great job. It was really smart for Mercy Please there to go for the higher priority kill. Like a normal, maybe a greedier player, a less greedy player would have saw Fogged immediately. It's like, support, quick kill. But no, I'm going to go in deeper. I'm going to make sure I get the gyrocopter. He's a higher priority. And they did trade the Earthshaker, but at the end of the day, you'll always trade your support for the carry.
Mm-hmm. So 4-3, your new score. AA getting a bit of solo time, that selfish me time at the bottom to push towards getting that level 6. No surprise there. Korok dancing around the mid lane. Queen of Pain nearby. Not the easiest target to get a jump onto this puck, plus Fog waiting in the wings to maybe surprise her. Once he gets to that level 6, that's when beautiful. I love playing Disruptor. You get that level 6, you can hide out like that. They make a committed jump in, and then you surprise them with that Static Storm, and they're just going to be in a world of hurt. Plus, he'd be committing into what potentially could be the silence coming out from the puck, and very dangerous. So normally at this point, Queen of Pain would love to be running around, getting quick kills, but against the team like NAR and what they got, it's just not too easy. So
Right. They've got a very, like I was talking about before, a very responsive lineup. They've got long initiation ranges with the Clockwork, the Sand King when he gets his blink, Disruptor with a massive glimpse range, Gyro with a rocket from forever away. So it's very hard to get a clean pick off from Void Boys.
the length is forever. When we looked it up, actually, on the Wikipedia.
It says it's just the infinity
It says
symbol.
forever. So MSS, can he get it? He got it. And the good hook in. Going right for Schwank. Can he finish it off? Is the rotation going to come? Well, he's going to spaz out everything he can, including the Ice Blast. MSS, I think he will go down for his valiant effort. There is going to be the fissure. Ooh, though, the TP. It's only level 1 Ice Blast. Oh, Echo!
Oh, good echo. Good echo there from Mercy.
He's like, don't think so, buddy.
So I think this AA pick is a better counter to Clockwork than I actually understood at first, because Clockwork goes in on you. If you can throw a cold feet really, really fast, he wants to stay in the cogs with you.
Oh.
So you can at least get a cold feet prop off.
Chad, they scout him out with the sentry. They're doing everything they can. 2 ultimates. They're going to get the slug down, but 747 does come back on the return. They're able to clean out the Disruptor. Frozen up. Ush trying to kind of waltz away from this one, but it's a little too far. Beautiful burrow strike onto the 2, and the follow-up coil coming out from Korok, making a double. Unbelievable. But at the same moment, 747 gets his own cleanup, taking out Chad, makes it a double for himself, but can he make it away? Korok, is he going to go for the hunt here? He's got the Haste Rune Orb in, but no,
nothing.
she is already gone. Even things up 7-7. What a breakout in the top lane.
This is going to be a very fun game of Dota. Just a lot of ganks, a lot of responses to ganks. Just keep an eye on Chad here. He gets this great stun to start. He's going to get another 2-man after this. Like, he was really the reason why NAR didn't end up a lot worse off than they could have been.
Yeah, this follow-up double burrow stun is very, very nice. Ush, it looks pretty grim for him, but he gets the rocket out, he gets the run, and boom! Gets it on the 2. Very nicely done. And look at Korok, just gets the coil, gets the double orb, gets the double kill. And we got to see, he's got to be getting pretty dang close to his Blink Dagger if he doesn't already have it. That's going to be very good.
And we're going to see the Ags Rush coming out of 747, which I think is, if you can get it early, it's great.
Yeah, we were just talking about this actually in the other room with the whole Ags debate with the Queen of Pain, whether it's good, whether it's not. Honey, so, he felt a bit indifferent about it. Maybe if you can get it super, super early, it's
good
great.
if you get it early.
But after that, it's, you don't really want to fall back for it.
Right.
He actually was praising the Octarine Core, I believe, as well on the Queen of Pain.
No, he was saying the opposite. He said, why would you ever get Octarine and not get Refresher instead?
Oh, I must have misheard them.
Yeah, I think it was...
Oh, you're right.
the other proponent of Octarine was... Actually, I can't remember who was talking about it. But Honey was basically saying you get Refresher always. because it basically does the same thing. Because your other abilities aren't that cooldown dependent, and if you get to that point, it's better to have Refresher for some of your other abilities.
We'll see now. NAR just a slight edge in front, but the XP is going to be the favor for the Void Boys here. And we were expecting a bit of a slow start into some serious clashes, and that's what we're getting. Korok, he's got his Dream Coil back up and ready here, but Slark is continuously on the prowl, trying to get the most mileage out of this Shadow Blade. Probably looking to hunt out where the Chad Sand King is, but he's currently not farming up in that woods. He's actually in his own, trying to see if there's any opportunities to get that Blink stun off. And well, they're eyeballing Roche. Not really a Roche time. They don't even really have a Roche lineup.
I was about to say they have 5 heroes around Roche, but I don't think they can do it.
No, they don't have a really good Roche lineup. It's just more of scouting out, guarding out the Invis rune, it looks like. But, oh my goodness, is that the Blink Dagger for Omega Poner?
He's had a pretty solid game so far. Been involved in a lot of kills.
You're right. He really has. That could catch NAR off by surprise. Korok, who would grab that Invis rune, is stalking, but he's just a little too short. A little too early, I guess you could say. Korok's not short. They're making a move bottom lane, though. This tier 1 set to fall unless Void Boys want to do something about it.
There's going to be a TPN from the Slark.
There he is. Shadow Blade already out, and NAR like, bye. We don't want any part of that. We just forced you to rotate towards the bottom, plus Korok is getting this extra bit of intel, seeing the rotations coming in.
I would say Korok's in a bad position for his Invis rune to run out, but he's already got a blink.
Front smoke. Do they have any sort of detection here? Oh, they have a sentry, but it's too late. That's slippery. Oh, that's not good. That's an air ball.
And he missed the fissure too with the face shift.
Oh no, and he's gonna pay for it. There's a return, the coil, the hook in, a scream from the high ground though does come out from 747, but it's not gonna be able to finish anyone off. MSS trucking on forward here. Ush comes in, drops the call down. They can go onto the Bane, but oh, what an ice blast! Set up also with the static storm kinetic field from the side of NAR. This is chaos breaking out as Chad unleashing the epicenter. Moving on in. Can they get the glimpse back? Is it up? It's not up. 3 seconds. Not quite yet, but the Burrow is going to get it. 3 from Void Boys go down. Not yet from NAR. We're going to make it 4 with a glimpse back on the Bane. Korok dominating now for NARV version 2.
And that was just out execution there, as we saw. Earthshaker missing his spells, and they made him pay for it. NARV, this has been their bread and butter this entire qualifiers, is noticing when a team makes a mistake and just reacting, smelling blood in the water and going right after them.
That was very ambitious there from Poner.
It really was.
I mean, he's like, maybe I can get you this puck, but even then, it's like, can you really follow it up? He'll eventually come out from the stun, shift. I mean, they were hoping that they could also follow it up with the 747 scream. Maybe the burst would be there, but I just can't help feel like that was way too ambitious.
It was a little ambitious, but you can't fault them for going for these really ambitious plays. They're in a position, they're already performing better than they thought they would. They're already in the top 2, and they really want to take this one off NARV. And how you do that is by making those ambitious plays. But it didn't quite work out the way it should have.
Oh, with that, that's probably the biggest tipping point to one side or the other thus far. Big fight. 2 big fights, I'd have to say, for NAR back-to-back, and with that, they're going to be able to move and add some pressure on this top lane, this tier 1, set to go down. They didn't glyph it. I don't think they glyphed it.
No.
Someone get him a ticket.
Glyph it or ticket.
You got to get a ticket. Got to remember, once that tier 1 goes down, the glyph auto refreshes. There's really no reason.
That's how long it's been since we casted together. Is that first change first happened? Was when we started saying glyph it or ticket.
Ah, memory.
Because teams that mistake never happens anymore.
Yeah, because back then people were like, "Oh, I'm not really used to it," but now it's like you never know. It could mess up their last hit. It holds them in the lane just that much longer.
Right.
Anyways.
There's no reason to not do it.
Oh, here we go. Smoke from NAR. They moved in. Blink from behind. And then the Burrow on forward. And it sets up the easy rocket barrage. But it's Korok who's going to go ahead and take that kill. Now, mega kill for him. There's a bounty on his head. Can Void Boys get him, though? It's going to be tricky. Your Agdams is now complete for the 747 Queen of Pain.
Man, I really just love these types of games of Dota because both of these teams, they're both trying to do basically the same thing. A very similar lineup from both teams, and it just comes down to who executes better.
And right now, it seems to be NAR.
Yeah, but there's always a chance here. Void Boys, they have a lineup that plays decently well from behind. They've got good team fight. If they can just win a good fight, kind of the reverse of what happened to them just now, then they can be right back in it.
Yeah, I could say Slark could almost peak at a point slightly sooner than maybe the Gyro can. Gyro peaks at various points throughout the game. You know, there's a point when his Rocket Barrage can kind of take over, and then, you know, you need to make sure you itemize up further, and then you get to the late game, and it's ridiculous with Black Cannon, but oh yeah, MSS going to get frozen solid right here. Follow up, that Echo will connect from over, and there's the Fisher follow-up.
That's deja vu to that last attempt on the AA. That he's putting the points into cold feet's pretty smart against the clockwork because it's going to happen. If he goes on you, you get a cold feet cast off on him, he's going to get frozen in place.
At least until he's able to maybe put together something like a Force Staff. But for now, he stepped off, got the Blade Mail, and you know, they'll need that extra bit of ability.
Maybe, I mean, MSS is a fantastic player, but maybe he should have went for that Force Staff first if he's going to be keeping going on this AA.
Yeah. I mean, the blade mail, there's some justification there, but certainly the
definitely
mobility is great across the board. Something like Force Staff is not necessarily always for yourself. You could help out maybe Ush, who gets frozen himself or caught out asleep or something, and you could be there to kind of get them in a better position. So, but he's a pro player.
Oh, yes.
Not us. So we'll see if the blade mail's going to be
MSS is a fantastic player. I remember when he first started standing in for Team Liquid when they were first together, and he put on a clinic with Rubik one game.
He is like a Dota renegade, man. He has been around the block for
really has.
Dota action teams. He was at the last TI. He's a crafty veteran, I like to say. So with that, we have Chad. He's got his Epi, only level 1, ready to go. But at the other side, you see Void Boys. They're committing 4 up here for now. But it's bottom where you get Korok, a nice solo pickoff on your AA, who's going to get punished, stuck at his solo. Of course, that's expected with your AA. You typically keep him across the map so he can get those big ice blasts off. But here we go. MSS, we were just praising him as he's going to make the jump in onto Omega Opponent, set up with a Static Storm kinetic field. He ain't going nowhere. Stuck in a prison of doom. He's going to go down, and also they're going to get the grab on the
Fantastic
Slark.
glimpses.
The glimpse from Fog set up again. What a hero.
Yep. He just excels so well in these games. They're so fight
Feed
heavy.
script on Ush. They're going to lock him in place. They're going to hit him with the Sonic Wave, and Ush will go down. He might have been over anxious, kind of staying himself in that bottom lane, pushing on in. Maybe thought he had a chance to make it go toe-to-toe with the Bane, but
That's a play that doesn't hurt you that much, though.
and we're going to see a replay if you're, of course, the action. That long hook shot will connect. Predicted. The walk back there from Omega Poner. Slark thinks he can maybe make a go. Sees the courier. Will get that courier down. So it is a good grab on that front. They'll get a little bit of money. But yeah, the glimpse puts him right back towards Chad.
Killing the courier killed him, though. So
Yeah.
probably not the best decision all in all.
Yeah, even if he stayed and hit Fogged, I don't think that would have gone any better. So
He should
really
have
just
just tucked tail and ran.
good fight again for NAR. They pull ahead now 16-9. And they continue to farm up across their team here after Korok picking up his Blink Dagger. He is friggin' rich. Nearly 4,500 gold. What do you buy? You can buy anything. You can buy anything in the world.
What does he have so far? He has a
Blink
blink
dagger.
and just a blink.
I mean, Yules was something of the olden days, very your puck.
Yeah. I mean, Orchid's not the worst decision against all these spellcasters. We'll see what he goes for.
Get the Agnums, you could bump him out with the cogs. Snap the coil. He's going to go for the Orchid. Yeah.
The Axe is really good, but only against specific lineups. I mean, this lineup isn't that bad. They kind of want to force you into a position. It's good when you can make people run out, right? Or if you have an ability that pushes people out.
They're also not BKB dependent heroes. So
Exactly. It
I don't know,
really works to counter BKBs.
Oh, okay. Glimpse back into a nice stack. Storm Fog.
He can't
trying
do
to
anything.
solo here, so he's stuck. MSS going to be right there to answer the call thereafter, and he's going to get it. Man, NAR are playing on point right
They
now.
really are.
At first, it looked like Void Boys were off to a strong start. They got that first blood. They moved to the mid lane. They had the pressure on the Korok. Then they went up to the top lane, got the pick on Ush. But ever since then, once Chad got his blink on the Sand King, he has been making sure to get the plays, get the setup. Same with MSS. He got his hook shot, and he's always been right there behind. And, Fogged as well. It's hard not to praise anyone on their team, but we look to Void Boys now. Finding their way back into the groove, back into this game. You can see the top two of the net worth belonging to trading back and forth between Korok and Ush. But you have Void Boys the next 3 here. So we're counting on this core 3
This
to get
pick
it
off on
done.
Korok could be huge.
If he can get it. It's going to be tricky, though. How do you really stop there?
That's
Blast on
just-
2.
oh, great
Follow-up Echo. This is what we were looking for here, and they might be able to get it. It's a beautiful, beautiful job to set that one up. But Korok holding it out. Nice shift. Able to go the low ground here. Ooh, he's trying to dodge out fly. What a rocket set up with the coil. Might make it all worth it. He's going to make it away. Poner going to get caught out now. MSS set it up with the hook shot and cogs. And oh, man, that is heartbreaking if you're a Void Boys fan. It looked like that was the dream setup, but they can't get enough. Only Chad will go down, and they take the lives of 2, including the precious Slark.
Fantastic counterplay from Korok.
Oh, man.
Now watch this here.
I mean, look at that. That's the dream.
Watch this play from Korok here. He phase shifts at just the right moment.
Oh,
He gets out, and then Mercy Please is going to be like, oh, no, I'm taking a lot of damage. He's going to start TPing soon after this.
Oh, and they move in. They're waiting for Korok. He turns a little too late, tries to go for it, but the shift is already
Did Mercy
there.
Please cancel his TP there? I thought something canceled his TP. I thought Korok had, but he just moved away, and he ended up dying for
I
it.
don't know. Maybe they're like, we could take this fight, and he decided to stop, but it ended up being the wrong call. Yeah. Suddenly an MSS appears. Korok bottles up. He's ready to fight, and they're going to get that kill. And apparently Earthshaker died.
Yeah.
We'll need a replay of that. Well, I assume it's the continuous getting pick off, moving around. I was already expecting this team to be heavy on the initiation front and being able to go down. Could have been the back end of that death.
I think it was at the back end.
Okay.
Of the
All right. Sorry. I'm like, no. Obs. It's okay. I was wrong. Not you.
And the and the Midas from AA coming up. It's it's one of those things, right? I'm not sure exactly how I feel about rushing, or not necessarily rushing, but getting a minus no matter what on AA. When you're in a situation like this and you're losing...
Oh, nowhere you can hide. 747, you got no mana. What you going to do? Not a whole lot. MSS is also going to jump in on the action, and it is a party in the forest as they're going to get the burrow, they're going to get the kill, he's going to get dropped. And while they're doing this, it doesn't even concern Ush. He's off farming elsewhere. We saw him get that big stack. He just picked up his BKB. It's just going swimmingly right now for NAR.
He's in a position now where he can just feel confident about the way his team can fight as 4, and then he can just place it. The only person he has to worry about really is his Slark, and he can just farm up and transition into that late game carry and just put the nail in the coffin here. But all I was talking about for AA is it's kind of a weird situation, right? Because there's not a whole lot of items that work that are that important for an AA to pick up. Maybe an urn, maybe a force staff are great, but the other support items that you normally see picked up, they don't benefit AA in the same way that other support items do. So rushing a minus is a really common thing across every scene in Dota. But when you're this far behind, it kind of hurts.
They're trying to deward, not going to happen on Chad's watch. He's able to step in, get the burrow, but his Epi is actually going to be off the mark. Or is it? The glimpse back, come right back here. They're going to get him again. MSS. How many times have we seen this already this game? He's going to get the kill already. We're going to scout out the situation at the top. It's going to be Slark stalking Ush, but he's like, ooh, can I really do this? I
He
don't
just
think
hasn't
so.
got the pickoffs he's needed to get this
Not
game
working. Ush even just kind of using his call down for farming instead of fighting because he's going to let to the other 4 boys to take care of all that action. Now, was Slark going for the Sage there, or was it the buildup of the BKB? It's BKB.
It is
Okay.
BKB.
All right. Fair enough. Need to go on that defensive road right
I
there.
think Silver Edge is pretty bad here. There's not that many passives to get rid of either. Is there any even?
No.
Caustic? I don't think you care that much about disabling
No,
Caustic.
He
so.
needs to, make sure he's not part of that glimpse, the static storm.
Yeah, there's really no reason to
The
go Silver Edge
burrow.
this game.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky, though. We see Chad, but they have the ward. Sorry, buddy. They're going to be seeing you. So with that, he'll go into a nice defensive position, and Slark continues to try to go on the prowl, and he hasn't found anything yet. His Shadow Blade not coming out to as much as he was hoping for, considering how, relatively early he got it. So he better at some point consider going back to farm. At this point, you're hoping you're farming heroes and bringing in a huge lump sum of gold that way, but that's not happening. So at some point, you need to kind of go back to your PvE roots and just farm up the creeps to get to that next level. Because while you're trying to find all these kills, Ush continues to farm and farm and farm, and he will continue to push ahead. Just comparing the net worth, Ush has got 12.5k, and your Slark trying to get to 9. That's a big item difference.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a catch-22, right, with Slark. You can farm, and then you're missing out on the kills that a Slark really needs to snowball and take control of the game, because if you fight 1v1 in a late-game matchup, Slark versus Gyro's going to win.
Oh, yeah.
But your pickoffs have not been effective, and their counterplay is so good with Sand King and Disruptor and Clockwork that your pickoffs aren't really good either. So you're kind of stuck in a situation where there is no good alternative.
I certainly don't fault him for trying to go for those kills. It's just what you got to do as a Slark.
Exactly.
But it's like you said, there's just too much of that backstaff from NAR to kind of be there at a moment's notice to just combo break it and then turn it right back around in their favor. Now they're going to be moving for the Roche. It looks like the Ice Blast is going to be able to scout it out. It's only level 1, so it shouldn't be too significant. But we'll let you know that we're here and we see you. And the Aegis is going to go into the pocket of Ush. Not really surprised by that one. They'll be able to shake off that bit of damage from the Ice Blast, and we'll see how soon they want to go on the prowl.
Just really good play so far from the supports of Narvi, specifically. Fogg has been playing out of his mind. Chad farming up exceptionally well. His epicenters have been a little to be desired, but otherwise he's had some really solid burrow strikes.
Yeah, I was actually nervous for him at the start when he, got caught out, and it was the double creep wave that was taken away from him. I thought the blink was going to be pushed back a bit, but he managed to pull it together, and ever since then he has been participating heavily. And they scout out Slark. Do they have the detection? They do. They drop a sentry, they drop the silence, they drop the coil, and he's going to be forced to BKB and get himself to the low ground. Now that does force a coil out. Yeah, which is good.
First to BKB usage.
But he's just trying to survive, which is not what you want to be.
Did he just get that BKB? That might have been a 10-second BKB usage.
I think it was, yeah.
Ooh, that's not what you want either.
But you need to survive, otherwise you're handing over a kill and could risk losing that tier 2. So, this is not what you want to be doing as a Slark, but this has just been the
He's still making the right
into.
plays, right? These aren't misplays. It's just unfortunate because it's not as good as it could be.
Yeah, it's just NAR on their what looks like their A game right now. So, it's just like, oh, cool, you got a stack here? It's my stack now. He'll work on that, but meanwhile, you can see Chad able to make the move. Schwanni's, I don't know where to go. The Iceman cometh, and the Iceman fall apart into little crumbles and ice cubes. And NAR, continue to stride here. Nearly 3K on your Ush. And though 747 got that early Agnums, he's got level 3 Scream. It's just not been able to kind of utilize it as much as they'd like. Uh-oh, here comes the Epi Party. Jump
Mercy, please,
in.
is saying mercy, please.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
There's been so much hate for him this game. They've been anytime, and like we're saying, it's not really out. He's not really playing that poorly. It's just that NAR is really hating on him every time he goes to make a pickoff. They're right there. They're going after him in the jungle. Like usually, Sarks aren't having to play on the back foot.
They just seem to be gifted these kills. It's like, oh, here's someone, let's go. But no, this time Omega Pro jumps in. Echo, Fidge are going to be there by the force on forward. Korok in a better position. They're able to finish off the bait. Now they move on back. Oh, you're not going anywhere as the Burrow Strike comes out from Chad. Omega Poner slams down his totem in anger, but he will also be going to the grave. He's going to get dropped. Fog now on a killing spree. It's 3 down from the side of Void Boys. NAR lose nothing. They're up now 25-10, and it's their time. They take this parade down the mid lane, and they're going to look to push down. Quap, desperate, throws out the Sonic Wave, trying to slow their roll as much as possible, but you're not really stopping this bullheaded rush from NAR quite yet. Ooh, AA, actually it'd be an air ball right there. Unfortunate circumstance of Ush doing that bit of a sidestep, and yep, we have now breached the 10K net worth advantage.
Yeah, I don't see much of a way forward. Their lineup just doesn't play that well from this far behind. They play well from behind in the mid game, less so in the late game. They really can work in team fights, but when they have all these BKBs up on NAR, it's hard.
You're kind of looking at that point where Void Boys are counting on missteps and misplays from NAR to maybe overextend into the high ground or something so they can hope for a bit of a comeback. Yeah, the rubber band isn't what it used to be, but still, there could be a big XP boost their way. A good lump sum. There's bounties out there already between Korok, I believe, as well as even Fog with a killing spree. And he's just a support, so there's gold to be had out there. There's gold in them heroes, but you got to get out there and pan it. Will they be able to
That's tough work.
get their pan? I don't know. Another attention towards this top lane. Ush is going to be going for a butterfly here, Brian. He's got the Eagle song already.
That's definitely the right decision. When the other team is this far behind, there's no way they can farm MKBs in time.
Nope, certainly not. And Korok even with a sheep stick here. Lots of farm. Lots of abilities to show off now. Tier 2 to drop here, and it's looking like NAR are going to be pretty successful in the first game.
Korok's really impressed me with how he's been able to keep up this farm despite involving himself in so many of these engagements.
Now, if NAR win this first match, they're already guaranteed just 1 point, but is that 1 point enough to secure the top
I believe
part
so,
of the
because if they win the
bracket?
1, there's no way that Void Boys can get more than 1.
Yes.
Right? So if they're up by 1 and they win with the 1, Void Boys can only get 1 more.
It's a lot of ones.
Exactly. So I think by winning this, Narvi does.
They won this. They got the 1 point. That's
Yes.
needed to be in the 1
Yes,
position.
because they're tied. No, they're tied even with Void Boys, weren't they? Points-wise.
Yes.
Okay, so no, it will still matter for the third game. They're tied at 7.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Our
So
producer is helping us out because we're clearly perplexed and don't know what the hell we're talking about.
No, so nothing will be determined by this. Void Boys can still come back and tie it.
Okay, great. So each game does matter. I wasn't
Yes.
too sure if this is only going to be predetermined or not. So they need to get both wins, as both teams do.
Yes.
So we'll see. Now, what if Void Boys win the next game? Is there a
Tiebreaker
tiebreaker?
tomorrow.
There's a
Tiebreaker
tiebreaker
tomorrow.
for the seed. Okay, so we could have more games tomorrow if NAR take this game and then Void Boys follow up with their own. So we'll see. That's the difference between having tiebreakers and possibly just one best of 3. We'll see. Now they are in the base. Tier 3 is down. Brax eating a lot of hefty damage here. And Ush is like, I got something to finish up here. He's going to pop his BKB and the call down here. Mercy Please eating a lot of the damage. Trying to right-click it onto Ush, but he is pretty damn tanky. And okay, glimpse back towards the hook. Cogs it above back, but because of the BKB, the static storm will not affect the Queen of Pain, but it's them hightailing it back to the fountain to heal on up, and that means they're going to be able to clean out the racks and walk away with the first big punishing damage into the base of the Void Boys. Now, Slark on the prowl. Could he get someone? Emma says, oh, I didn't see him, so I can't pounce. Chad already blinked away.
This is just such an unfortunate game for Mercy, please.
It really is. And he had that really strong start at farm in the bottom
he
lane.
really did.
It's just unfortunately not going to be happening here for him. NAR, it's almost like a circus act. They have everyone that's very mobile. They're jumping in, they're jumping out, and they're always just kind of have everyone at the right place at the right time.
Indeed.
Well, we don't want to be reaching too hard here for Void Boys, but they're still going to look to hold on. Never say die kind of attitude right now.
Oh, especially not in this position. Because you can... I mean, it's TI qualifiers, right? You never know. You throw a Hail Mary, you figure something out. You get a team... I mean, at the end of the day, you still have Echo, you still have Ice Blast, you still have Queen of Pain Scream on top of it. If you can get those 3 abilities in conjunction, you can take down just about any team.
Korok's like, I could coil this, but I need some more help. That's where my boy Ush comes in. Oh, they already blinked away. Call-down already comes, but they're not going to be caught in it. Now, who are they going to go for here? They're not going to go for anyone. MSS, though, he found his own target. He's going to be going for Fly. Pops the Blade Mail, and the Battery Salt, and Bane is just doing that dance of death. Like, I can't do anything. He's going to go down there. Also going to get Omega Poner. Korok now on the monster kill streak. They make it a 2 for special. 747's like, I got to get the hell out of here. I'm going to go to the other base. He has nowhere to go.
I've died more on my side of the map than their side.
Oh, he's just like, I'm going to go ahead and cut the creeps.
Yeah.
Cut the creeps as best as possible. I mean, given that the top racks has already been brought down, they're going to go ahead and go towards the mid instead, and that's where they're going to do their damage.
I mean, it's not a bad play to cut that because getting the free creeps into the base makes you be able to push the other towers with creeps.
Ooh, almost got caught out there. He thinks he's safe under that Shadow Blade, but he's not.
That's another thing the supports have done a fantastic job of this game is always having detection up. At all fronts.
Yeah, every time I'm like, do they have detection? They drop a sentry right at that moment. So with that, they're going to get the tier 3, and it looks like they're going to get another set of racks here. Your GG could be coming here momentarily. The towel to be thrown in from Void Boys. Scream just to kind of keep off the pressure. So with that, NAR step back, and they're probably going to look to just rinse and repeat.
These forward range creeps in the bottom lane. It's going to push so hard. 5 now.
Look out, Void Boys. The push is coming.
5 range creeps. Dun, 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 dun.
Technically on timing, though, they could scout out the Roche, see if it's going to be an early timed Roche. I didn't see the initial timer, if it is going to be long or not, but that 8-minute mark is coming. Do you know it's going to be long, or are you just intuition?
It's giving it to you.
No, not yet. This is the 8-minute mark. Watch, ready? And come on, baby! Is it small?
Is that an estimation from the observer?
Oh, it's like a 1 minute.
It's like a 1 minute, yeah.
So that's not too bad. Will NAR wait it out patiently for it, or will they get impatient and just say, hey, maybe we can put a lid on this game, go bottom lane, and make that push happen? We'll see. We'll see. So, Void Boys, just farm out what you can. Push these lanes, relieve the pressure, try to itemize and prepare for what could be your ultimate last high ground defense. If they risk going too far out of the, out of their leash zone, they could get caught out, and then they won't even have a chance to have their 5-man defense and put together that Hail Mary of a wombo combo you were talking about.
Right.
Chad's like, what was that? I'll just, whatever. I'll take it. He's like, my duty is just watching out for the Roche. And obviously, you see NAR taking the most of the control of the map. He's already got his little wolf pal. He's going to be farming up the Ancients. And eventually, they're going to find their way on this bottom lane. Korok has an Agnum Scepter. Oh my god. That is an AoE doom. So regardless of the BKB you got there, 747, regardless of the BKB you got there, Mr. Poner, that's not going to matter when you're caught under the static storm of doom.
He's also got the Glimmer Cape for his gyro, so there's really no way that their high ground push is going to be countered, honestly. For the Glimmer Cape to put on your gyro if he gets initiated on the Ag Static Storm, it's just going to be very hard for Na'Vi to lose their high ground push.
Roche is up, and Roche will soon go down. What a life it is to be a Roche. You come back to life, and you're like, God damn it, already they're here waiting for me to beat my ass. And
not only have you already moved once, from one spot on the map to another one, to hopefully keep from being killed over and over and over again, but now they're already waiting for you at home when you come back from work.
And then they leave litter all over the floor.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Rude.
Well, now they're going to be going for that final hurrah down on the bottom. You already saw it was like a 25k plus net worth advantage. I don't think we've seen Void Boys kind of beat this badly in this qualifier run so far. We'll have to see if that's going to be getting into their head a bit when they go into game number 2. Often players say that usually at this point, sometimes the team is already plotting out game number 2 and
You're
what they
playing
want
for
to do
game
in
2 right now. If you're Na'Vi, you want to win this in a very demoralizing way, and if you're Void Boys, you really are thinking about the next game. You're trying to keep your morale up, and maybe take a good team fight to show that you can stick with these guys, and it was just a bad start.
They jump in, the bump back, gets put Fly in bad position. He's getting hit with the Thunder Strike. Will the glimpse be there to fall? And doesn't look like it, but they are going to catch an Omega Poner with that burrow. But all the meanwhile, it's Ush moving right into the base. He's going for the racks. Omega Poner drops down the Echo. Fog going to be on the return with a beautiful Static Storm, and that is enough. They are going to eat the big burrow, and it's an emphatic finish coming out for NAR. They are going to be taking game number 1, 29-10. Very convincing.
Oh, great job by the NAR. I mean, like we talked about before the game, Void Boys came in as a underdog in the qualifier themselves, but they played exceptionally well today and yesterday, and so we thought this was relatively on even ground considering the play from Void Boys. But NAR showing their experience, their ability to do fantastic counterplays on all these ganks. Every time the Slark went for a gank, every time the Quap blinked in to try to get something done, NAR was right there and able to turn it around.